Hello all, welcome to our ZoidRush video. I'm your host, Tmzoids, also known as Tony, and today we're going to be talking about Stormgate. Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to start using that intro anymore in the future, but we'll see what happens. Let me know down below if you like that intro every time and introduction of what we'll be talking about. But yes, we're talking about Stormgate. So for people who do not know what Stormgate is currently a PC game, which is an RTS, which stands for Real-Time Strategy Game, and it was supposed to be the next big real-time strategy game, in my opinion. And if you don't know, I've been supporting Stormgate for quite a while through Twitter, or if it through be my Discord. I have talked about it, and I've talked about it in a positive light, and I was very, very excited for this game. Has that changed? I want to say no. I am still optimistic, even though if you watch my last stream, I played through the campaign, if you want to see that. I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything for that aspect, so if you want to go check that out, you can go check out my VOD. My Twitch is down below. You can check the VOD and stream VOD and watch all that. But I am kind of skeptical of things, and I wanted to talk about that today. So once again, Stormgate is an RTS. Other RTSs that you would know was Command and Conquer, StarCraft 2 or StarCraft, and then of course you had the other one, which was of course Age of Empires. Those are your top games that I would think that people can relate to or think about when they think of RTSs. You could also throw in Warcraft 3 in there, Warcraft if you wanted to throw Warcraft in there. But let's get right into it. Stormgate has been like this Kickstarter project. As you can see, my feedback here on this page is, So I did pledge to Stormgate. As you can see, they had a backing of 28,000 people with $2.3 million. Now, their original goal was 100,000. And I left my comment here, which is 3 days old. It has my first name, which is fine. I had to edit that because it had my whole name. And I was like, oh boy. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I pledged $200 to this game. And you're probably like, what is wrong with you? But no, that's how much I was excited for it because I really, really loved StarCraft. I really did. And I still do. I still play StarCraft 2 all the time. I actually just played StarCraft 2 yesterday with a friend. And we were playing the co-op missions, and then we were 1v1ing, and I still enjoy and love the story of StarCraft, and I was hopeful and very excited for this because, of course, Stormgate is backed by the StarCraft 2 or Warcraft 3 developers, and of course, I believe there's Command and Conquer, or maybe it's the other one, Age of Empires people are also on the Frost Giant Studios, AGS's platformer studio. So I backed this a while ago. Now, if that, of course, that means I get the game. I get the whole rewards, as in like a statue, which I have not received yet. I put that in my comment, but I am disappointed off the rip when I spent $200 and the game is now into early access. And what I mean by that is that it's in like this beta early access game, and as you can see, it launched a couple days ago, about 3 days ago, and it's free to play. You can try it out if you'd like. It's on Steam. Here's the goals that were funded, right? And so you got the maps and the story and the art. All the stuff was funded. This is why I'm frustrated, right? Now, as you can see, looking at the gameplay, as I scroll down through here and some of the things that you're seeing in the game, there are a lot of similarities to its predecessors of the Warcraft 3 campaign, and of course also the StarCraft campaign. And the first thing I got to talk about here is, so they made this comment, and I want to talk about this comment specifically. It states that Stormgate is fully funded to release. This Kickstarter is part of the response to fan requests for a way to purchase a physical collector's edition of Stormgate, which is understandable. We think we've put together a truly special collectible and most dedicated supporters. By producing Stormgate, the collector's edition will require a commitment from our players to cover our manufacturing cost. But we also have received countless requests for beta access. Scaling online multiplayer testing for a massive audience can get very expensive beyond what we can support without additional funding. This campaign will allow us to welcome many more players to playtest Stormgate as a reward for directly supporting the studio, which is fine and dandy, right? It's fully funded to release. So what we see now is I'm always nervous with the early access or early beta access games, and we've seen this with New World. Let's be honest. New World was a perfect example of this. Is that it came out, it was supposed to like this early access, this early beta access, and people kept using this excuse, right? And I hate using this excuse was, well, they're a new company. It's a new game. You know, you can't compare it to World of Warcraft or these other MMOs. They've been out for 20 years, 30 years of experience. And for that, yes, I get that. I understand that. I'm not saying that you have everything under the sun right when you come out of the gate, right? But you could see there was concerning signs, especially when it came to New World, where there was just a lot of bugs, a lot of issues, and then the community was getting a lot of feedback from the AGS, right? There was good communication. They're like, look, they're listening to us and they're making videos and talking about it. And Stormgate kind of goes to the same thing. They're very transparent and want to be very open and honest. But it seems like, once again, I know I pledged this money, and this is to, it was never like making the game, right? The game was fully funded to be released in the first place. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is when we first get this early access and where my disappointments are. So first things first, I like the campaign. I'm a campaign kind of guy, and I do like the 1v1s, and I like the maps and the different factions, of course. And of course, you got the 3 factions, and if you haven't noticed, there are similarities to the humans, the Zerg, and of course the Protoss, which I'm not really going to show here. I don't think it even shows anything here, no. So there's nothing there that I can really show you. I do recommend that you download the game and try it yourself. There are similarities, like I said, with a lot of the details and the campaign and how it runs. But through the campaign, what I was frustrated with most, even though it's early access, is there's 6 campaigns. And now, of course, later on, as you can see already looking at the roadmap, and it states that updates will come every couple of months, that there's going to be another 3 new campaigns. But we only got 6 campaign missions right off the bat. And this is where it starts getting frustrating for me, is because I just expect a little bit more coming out of the gate. I spent $200. $200 for 6 campaign missions at the early access, 3 more, and then in 2025 sometime, which they don't give an exact date, there's going to be 9 more. So in total, we're looking at a total of 18 missions, which is great. But I think this is like, I'm torn. I'm very torn because I want a game to be finished. If you're going to release a game or have a game in this early access stuff, I want the game to be complete. I want you to take the time and have everything done. And this is not the first game that's done this. There's been games in the past that do this, and it's a dangerous, slippery slope, right? Because they already got you. They already got you with the money that you pledged. They already got you with downloading the game, and then of course you see the roadmap. You're like, well, I'm excited for this. I'm already excited. I'm already happy with what I have. And then of course there's updates along the way, and it keeps you kind of playing. But the game's never fully completed. And it feels like this is one of those times where the game was released and it's not fully done, and now we're waiting who knows how long into 2025, which is still 4 months away till 2025, and that doesn't even guarantee that you're going to get it right in January or February. That could be all the way up to summertime. So that's a long time, right? From early access to 2025 summer. You're looking for a good year gap there. And what you see in between is there are things that there are phase 2 with the tier 3 units and the campaign different issues and the saving and adding things in like that, which is cool, but I feel like it might drag a little bit, which is kind of nerve-wracking and kind of concerning. Talking about the campaign, all of the campaign missions, in my opinion, were kind of predictable. Like I said, I'm not going to try and give too many spoilers. I do want to say a few things. I know people are talking about the art and this and that. The storyline, that's what I'm going to focus on right now. I am not attached to any of these people. I don't feel attached, even after playing the 6 campaign missions. I don't feel attached to any of these people. I get where they're going with this. It has a similar vibe, once again, to the StarCraft thing, where they turn the female, the pro-female human into this evil Zerg-like, you know, mutant thing and corruption and this and that. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but that's where they're going with that. And I didn't feel that emotion. Looking back at StarCraft 2, looking at Kerrigan, and when playing the mission where Kerrigan's like defending the base and stopping the Zerg and then fighting off the Protoss and doing all those things, you then get to the end and you get the cutscene, and she's just overswarmed by the Zerg, and Minx is like, all right, pack it up, we're leaving. And you're like, oh no, like, what the heck? You're leaving? What do you mean you're leaving, Kerrigan? What the hell? And then Raynor, of course, is down there and he's in love with her. So he's like, no, and it's just the emotion behind it. And you're like, the character that you're playing and you've been playing is just, oh man, like, but I didn't get that from this. Like, I feel like I played the missions, and one of the things I do wish they did is slow down a little bit when it came to RTS, because it's been a while since we got an RTS game. And if people don't know what an RTS is, and then they're going into this game, I feel like, one, there's a lot of reading. If you're not a big reader, to read everything that your abilities do or this, that, it might be a little bit much if you don't know what the hell you're doing. So keep that in mind. But there's a lot more walkthrough stuff, and you're playing as a hero, and you're playing more of like a Warcraft 3 is more than what I'm getting from these vibes. Another thing that I wanted to point out, and that we have to be careful of with the 6 campaign missions and the heroes that you do get to play with, is that they are very strong. And this reminds me of when Heart of the Storm came out, and I know I'm bringing different games and bouncing back and forth, but when Heart of the Storm came out for StarCraft 2, Kerrigan was so overpowered, all you had to do is play with Kerrigan. And that's what happens in one of the last campaign missions, is that this person is so overpowered, the female here, let me see, my camera's in the way, let me move there a bit, let me move the screen so you can see her, there you go. So this character here, she just becomes too overpowered, and you can pretty much do the mission all by herself. You don't need any units, and it kind of takes away the purpose, especially since it was the last campaign mission, which I thought would be the most difficult, which it was. I played on normal. I didn't play on brutal or anything. I haven't gone back and played on any harder difficulty. I played on normal. But in normal, she is just too strong, too overpowered, and you can do everything with just her. She can go defend what she needs to go defend. She can get power-ups when she's getting power-ups, and then she can attack and kill anything in the base that needs to be killed. Leaves that at that. The artwork. Now, there are some things that could be better with the artwork. As you can see, I'm not going to focus too much on the cartoonish look or this like the look. I know people can't get over that. It's more up to date than what you look back with StarCraft or Warcraft. It's not that gritty version. It's not that like space-like version where StarCraft gives you. It's more cartoonish and more vibrant, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is during the cutscenes, which, like I said, they are going over these things and they are fixing these things with the future coming up in the future there, as you can see. But one of the things, the cutscenes that need to be fixed, in my opinion, is their hair. And I know that's so trivial and so silly to be like, their hair, why are you talking about their hair? Is because when you're talking about their hair, one of the cutscenes, and like I said, I'm trying not to give away any spoilers or anything if you haven't played the campaign. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But one of the campaign missions, there's 3 females, one of them being this female here. She's talking and her hair doesn't move, which is fine. The hairstyle that she has is whatever. The second person kind of has a similar hairstyle and similar look to her, to be honest. There was not much variation. Different colors, of course, but other than that, I got similar vibes. It was not until the third female that came out that her hair was just plastered. And I mean literally plastered to the side of her head, and it didn't move, and it just looked like this block. And the graphics were just not there. That's what I mean when it comes to graphics. When it comes to the cutscenes, I'm just like, let the hair flow, let it look realistic. You know, you look at a Warcraft and World of Warcraft scene in throughout the years, their cinematics always have like flow, and you can see the wind flowing, and the cutscenes are always cinematic, and things are fire and this and that. And I feel like some of the cutscenes in this game lack that, and they could be improved. I'm not saying those can't be improved. These are things that could definitely be changed and improved over time, as they already said they're going to fix with their mission statement with the early access. We're going back to this. Actually, not this. My apologies. I wanted to go to the Stormgate early access comment that they released, which I need to capture, but this is something that they can work on and improve. Another thing that needs to be talked about is the the simple fact that when they're talking, their mouths and their audio are in sync, but it could be a lot better. Like a lot better. They need to just overall just fix a lot of things when it comes to that. And I think, like I said, these are things that can be improved and definitely fix over time. I don't think these are things that are like make or break the game. I don't think these are things that people really should be focusing on, because it's like, I get it. Are they things that they should have already been done? Possibly. I think they could have been a lot better. But as you can see here, we're going to open this screenshot up just a little bit there. Move the camera here. We got things going on. We're moving. So this is when you open the game, this is it. They said this is an unfinished game, and this is what I want to focus on mostly. And they're working on it, and the feedback, change it. The initial gameplay models for cutscenes will be updating. These models feature facial animations, improved body proportions, and more. So I think the hair and everything that I'm talking about here will be released in the upcoming future in the roadmap. And this is like the beta thing. And this is where it makes me nervous. That's all. I get nervous because games like this can either be like, all right, we get your money. We're going to get all your money. We're going to release a half-ass game. And this is what you're going to get. And then we're going to promise you all these updates. And the updates come. And then you're like, these are not the updates that I was hoping for. But they're improving the art. They're improving the units and the quality of life features and everything overall. Which leads me back to the map, which we already saw, which was here. Sorry. Right here, the roadmap here. But talking and leaving with that, one other thing that they need to focus on, there's a killing animation in the campaign. I do hope they fix. Some of these things just really need to be overhauled and fixed. And I hope they look a lot smoother. And maybe add a little graphics, a little blood. I don't know if this is supposed to be catering to all ages and be more a little bit friendly, family friendly. If that's the case, I understand. I don't think that's the case, because when you look at their 3v3, the blood, back to this, you see blood splattering, you see things dying and guts and gore. So hopefully that leads into their actual animations with that. One of the other things that I was disappointed with, and I'm not logging into the game, but backing the, my pledge, like I said, it's here. It shows right off the rip there. There's my selection. One of the things that I was disappointed with, and I hope they change this in the future, is I know you still have to make money. Companies still have to make money somehow. Microtransactions. This is the gray area for me. I spent 200. I pledged $200. I pledged $200. There was 2,000 of us that pledged it. It's nothing new. It's right here. 2,243 of us pledged $200. Now, with that being said, when I logged in the game for early access, I hope to have everything unlocked. I hope to have all access with the co-op, the campaign, the whatever the case may be, the 1v1s, all the maps, the cosmetics, the gameplay, whatever I can do, I want to have access to. It is kind of disappointing and kind of frustrating to see that right when I logged in the game, there was $14 purchases that I did not have. $14. Now, I know that's not a lot of money compared to what I spent, right? But $14 more than I already pledged. And that's not including taxes. So my state, it's different from state to state. But my state, of course, has tax, digital tax. So then it's not really $14. It ends up being a little bit more. But, you know, there's a pet that I didn't have. And there's a co-op mission. One of the characters you had to unlock for $10, which I would find kind of frustrating. And this is the most disappointing thing, is that I log on and there's microtransactions already. And like I said, I get it. A company still is going to want to make money with the Kickstarter project being done and RTSs. There's only so much you can do. You can technically do the battle pass, which I'm sure they'll have and implement down the line. And I'm sure they'll implement other things and voice packs and everything else like StarCraft has done in the past, which is fine. It's just frustrating to see that the game it's hard, right? It bumps my head, right? Part of me was like, I'd rather just have a finished game. Don't release a game. I don't mind beta testing. If you're going to tell me beta test, right? I don't mind doing that. But then at the same time, you release this game and then I just get nervous. It really is nerve-wracking because I've seen it. We've seen it before. Games get released. They give all these promises. They say they're going to release these things. And then you get the roadmaps like we see. And then you're just like, this is not what I hope to be. But am I still hopeful for Stormgate? Do I still have hope in this? Yes. I still think that the creators that have come from Warcraft and StarCraft and other RTSs have good ideas, have a great roadmap laid out, a better roadmap than we've seen for other games, let's be honest. New World. And we actually have things to look forward to. And like I said, this is early access release, so keep that in mind, and I try and keep that in mind. It is just kind of nervous. It makes me nervous, but I am hopeful. I still believe in Stormgate. I believe that Stormgate will be a great RTS down the line, and once they work things out and focus more on the map, the saving, and the campaign missions, and the new co-op, and hopefully the 3-person co-op thing that they've really been pushing will be exciting. And it's a little bit different than your StarCraft, and it will give StarCraft 2 a little bit of competition and keeps the things fresh, keeps things going. And that's what we always need, right? We need new RTSs, we need new MMOs, we need new games to keep things fresh. Because if you look at it, and you know, I do say, you know, that early access makes me nervous, but then you look at games like Ash's Creation that's been in, you know, this like limbo, like they're gonna release, eventually we're making the best MMO ever. And I've heard about Ash's Creation since I've started New World, and New World's about 3 years old, almost 4 years old at this point. 3 or 4 years old. I think it's more closer to 3, not 4. I'm jumping the gun there. But that's 3 years, and I guess Ash's Creation's been in production or been being made for the last like 7 years, supposedly, and they keep updating things, changing things, and then it kind of gives that like idea or like that back of your mind, is this game ever really going to be released, or is this kind of like a false hope? But I do have hope. I do hope that in the future that we get a little bit more storytelling, a little bit more about this girl here. I really do hope that the campaign missions, once they change the art and everything around with that, I will replay them and try and look at at least look at the cutscenes, if not anything. Look at the cutscenes, see how they've improved with that. I already loaded the game in DirectX 12, and I already loaded the game regularly, like it recommends, and there was not too much difference in the, you know, the look or the feel, in my opinion, but maybe my human eye just couldn't tell. Overall, am I nervous? Yes. My first impressions were like 6 missions, kind of weak. I do wish they were a little bit more noob friendly, and I only say that for people that are playing like new. The animations, like I already went over, not so much the art. Like I said, the art the cartoony feel that you get here. That's, you know, I get it. I mean, League went through a massive change with this too. Like, League drastically changed from the gritty, like, old, like, 18-bit looking feeling to a much more artistic, more artsy, more vibrant colors that it is today. So overall, I'm hopeful. There's a roadmap. There are things to look forward to. If you look at my, you could see my playthrough with the campaign on my VODs, on my Twitch, so you could go check that out. Am I nervous? Yes. Those are my first initial thoughts, especially with the microtransactions. I am disappointed. And hopefully down the line, Frost Giant will be like, hey, we messed up. This is all going to be free for people that pledged, or we changed it, and we're going to give these people that pledged these things. I don't know. It would just be nice to see. And hopefully in 2025, the game's much more polished. And I'll make an update video because I do believe in this. I still want this RTS to be good. I still want this to be competitive, like I said, for StarCraft and for Warcraft and any other RTSs, to give improvement and actually have competition and, you know, force updates or force, you know, other companies to be like, hey, this is a successful thing, right? You know, people thought MMOs were dead, and then you looked at New World, and New World had massive population, massive, you know, well-being of well-liked because of how the MMO was made and how their battle and their combat was. And now things have changed, of course, but it shows other companies and other studios that, hey, we do want games, we do like new games. And I do try and not be so negative with every game that comes out. There are some things that companies do that are shitty, and those people should be called out and held accountable. And I do think, like I said, I am hopeful for Stormgate, and you'll probably see me play it on stream. Like I said, all those links are down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. That's all I ask. I don't ask for the subs or anything at this point. Give it a like. If we get 10 likes, maybe I'll go play this on Brutal. But that is it all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I changed it up a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye now.